What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Idaho Rifleman. I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I've uploaded a video. I'm just getting over some sort of bug that I had. But today is going to be a part one of a several part series on cleaning and maintenance of the Stevens 334. Today we're going to start with how to clean the bolt and firing pin. So we'll get into that right now. So the first thing we're going to want to do is make sure the firearm's clear and safe. We're going to remove the magazine, check the chamber, make sure there's no rounds in there. And everything that we're doing is just a basic cleaning and maintenance. We're not going to disassemble or produce a firearm here. It's just showing you in this video how to clean the bolt and firing pin on the Stevens 334. So we're going to remove the bolt by depressing the latch back here. Now that the bolt's removed, we're going to set the firearm off to the side. I have just a basic Outers nitro solvent, Hops 9 gun oil, and some basic Allen cleaning patches. So now that we have the bolt out, if you hold it like so, there's a pin right here. Hopefully the camera focused up on that, but there's a pin right there. You're going to want to press that in with your thumbnail. And then this will rotate. This locking lug back here will rotate. You can separate your bolt from your firing pin for cleaning. Here's an up close of the bolt. This pin right here, you want to slide it in. And then this lug right here will rotate and come apart. Now, there's not a lot of rounds through this, so this one's fairly clean and well lubricated still. But I'm just going to remove some of the carbon, some of the grease from the spring and the firing pin here. You can see there's quite a lot of grease still on that from the factory. But you're just going to want to clean this up just a little bit, and we'll run a solvent patch over that as well. Make sure to do this in a well ventilated room. Once you start getting into the solvents and stuff, they can be a little toxic. Clean that up, and realize with this solvent you are stripping oils and essential lubrication away from the parts here. So you're going to want to use a good quality lubricant to replace those so that your gun functions properly for a long time to come. One patch of solvent and then just another patch to dry it off real quick. Kind of take up that excess. And now I choose Hops 9. This is something that, shoot, my dad and my grandpa all used Hops 9. I like it a lot. I know there's some other lubes out there that people have preference on. This is just mine. So I'm going to run some oil along the spring here, and then down inside of this locking lug here. Now I'm going to actually over oil this a little bit. You guys might be looking at this wondering why I'm putting so much on. But once I actually put all the oil in here, then I use a patch to spread it pretty evenly over all the surfaces here. So the patch absorbs some of the excess oil and the rest gets spread out pretty evenly over the parts here. I know there's a lot of schools of thought on what to oil, where to oil, how to oil. This is just what I've always done and how I was taught to do it. So Okay. Now we have a well-oiled spring and firing pin assembly. Some of this excess off. Now the actual tri-lugs for the bolt, I'm going to drop a little bit of oil. There's a pin right here off to the side. I'm going to make sure I oil that, make sure I oil the extractor, and then I'm going to drop a little bit of oil down into the hole where the firing pin will come through. There's some pins and ports on the side there. It doesn't hurt to get a little oil in those as well. If I had put a lot more rounds through this, then I would run a cleaning swab through there as well, where the spring and firing pin assembly goes. Not going to worry about that today, just simply because I've got maybe 30 rounds, 50 rounds through this rifle is all. So we'll save that for another day. Just kind of dab up and spread around some of this extra oil that's run off. And then we can reassemble this. Now, if you look on the end of the bolt here, there's a little groove, and that's where these lugs will slide into place. Okay, so you're going to press, and when you press this in, you're actually cocking the firing pin. This part's a little tricky, where this slid into in that groove. I was hoping to get past that, because if it drops into that groove, it's kind of a pain to get it back into the proper position. And with my hands being a little oily, it's going to be a little trickier yet, but we'll get it here. So you're just going to take this part of the groove here, there, and rotate it until that pin drops back in. There's a little groove right there for it. I'll show you here just so you can see for reference. Right there is where that pin is going to want to sit. So just twist that into place there. Firing pin is cocked, but that doesn't matter, just something to take note of. That'll be the final resting position once you're done putting your bolt back together. And when you're done cleaning, there's a notch right here that these lugs have to slide into. Press it together. It takes a little bit of force because you are engaging the firing pin here. And rotate this back into place. If you rotate this lug too far one way or the other, and this drops into that, it's kind of a bear, but you can twist it past. And this pin there has to lock into that slot right there. And that's the completed reassembly of the bolt. Okay, bolt's locked into place here. Now you can slide it forward. It locks right in. Check and clear. Again, make sure the round of the rifle is clear. Something I'll show you here too, once I fire this, some bolts, I don't know if you can see, but my 30-06 1917, it actually cocks when you push the bolt in after racking it. This one cocks as soon as you lift the bolt. I'll show you that. So there, it's cocked again. And then obviously you have to cycle the bolt to get the round out. But I thought that was interesting. I don't know I haven't paid attention on a lot of other bolt action rifles, how that works with those, but on this one I did notice that as soon as you lift that bolt, it cocks the firing pin. I'll show you what I was talking about on that Enfield real quick, the Remington Enfield. So on that Remington Enfield that I was talking about, and give you guys a quick update on this rifle. I had it checked at Gunsmith. The head spacing is bad. That's what was causing those casings to split. If you haven't seen that video talking about that, I'll put a link in whichever side of the screen it pops up on. It's up here somewhere. You can go watch that video talking about that. Did have it checked. There is one company that makes replacement barrels for these P17 style rifles. They're currently out of stock, but eventually I do hope to have this rebarreled and try to get that issue fixed and get this back into service. But what I was talking about right here is where this rifle actually engages the firing pin to be able to fire. Whereas the 308, you saw it cocks right here. This one, you actually have to push the bolt in to get the firing pin to lock. Just something interesting. All right, everybody, there it is. There's part one of a 2 or 3 part series. We'll see. Just going into the basic maintenance and cleaning of the Stevens 334. If you liked the video, found it informative, be sure to give it a like, leave a comment down below. The comments do help out a lot. Helps the algorithm, but you know, I also enjoy reading them and seeing your guys' thoughts and feedback as well. As always, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Take care, stay safe, and God bless. We'll see you next time here on the Idaho Rifleman.